It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.
Jeff Bridges is here with us this morning at Q1043 on the morning after the official opening of his film that people have been talking about so much, Crazy Heart. I mean, it was a Wednesday opening. That's pretty weird, Mr.
like
Bridges.
that.
That's a weird,
good.
unusual thing. That means there's something very special going on here.
Well, get a little run on the weekend.
Yeah. Well, this was supposed to come out next year, right? Wasn't that the original plan?
Yeah, but they pushed it up, and I'm happy about that.
Well, there was so much early buzz. It was like
They pushed-
your performance.
They pushed it up because people are saying that this is one of the finest motion picture performances by an actor of all time. That's why they pushed it up, Mr. Modesty.
Yeah, really.
Well, I
No,
don't
it's
know
true.
about that.
It's true because I saw it and you just blew me away.
It's a good movie, isn't it?
It's a great movie, but Jeff, it's your performance.
Oh,
As
thank
Bad Blake.
Thank you. Well, I'm surrounded by incredible actors. You know, the wonderful Maggie Gyllenhaal, Bob Duvall, and
Yeah.
Colin Farrell. So you can't get.
Well,
any
you can
better
call
than
him
that.
Bob Duvall. We
We
call him
can't.
Robert
Yeah.
Duvall.
All
See,
right.
he would be very offended if we would say.
And
Bob
you
Duvall's
you say
here.
T-Bone Burnett, or did you say Henry Burnett?
T-Bone.
Because Henry is his official name.
Yes, but T-Bone Burnett handles the music.
Can you believe it?
But
Man.
you're a good singer, and I mean, this is really you. This is
All
really
you.
in this performance that people are talking so much about as Bad Blake, who's a washed-up country star, but a country star nonetheless, a guy who has hits that people know.
Who
is
could
just,
really write.
It's just that, his day as a big star has passed. He's fallen on some difficult times, has some serious personal issues to deal with, and there's a love story that's involved, and there's also the relationship with a younger artist that Bad Blake mentored, who at the time this film takes place is at the top, doing arenas and stuff like that.
Right.
And he was really impressive musically.
Isn't he great? Colin
Yeah,
Farrell?
I was like, wow.
Yeah, he came in for I think 4 or 5 days and just knocked that part out of the park. I mean, he was wonderful, and then to sing together, because basically acting's all about harmonizing together, one way or another. And Colin was wonderful to sing with and act with, and the whole deal.
But those situations really happen,
What's that?
where the mentor finds that he's at a point in life where he's surpassed in fame, or
Yeah.
And his
or
day has
success,
passed.
and his day has passed. And there are a lot of big name. I mean, in country music, I can name a ton of them. A lot of big name country guys, older, haven't had a hit in a long time, but they're still on the road. They're still playing every night because they just have to.
That's right.
As artists, they have to. I mean, Nashville is filled with stories of artists who
Sure.
just keep on going, like your character.
That's right. That's right. A big role model for me was Stephen Bruton, who the movie's dedicated to, and he's an old buddy of T-Bone's. They grew up together. We met 30 years ago on Heaven's Gate, and we got hooked up there by the star of that movie, Chris Christopherson, who was also a big role model for me in this movie. And meeting those guys back in those days, Chris got all his musician friends to come and play small parts in that movie. And that was 6 months of jamming every night after work. So in a funny way, that movie was the beginning of this one.
And Chris Christopherson was a janitor at Columbia Records in Nashville.
That's right.
Wow.
He was a janitor.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his job. That's how he broke into the record business. He was a janitor, but he cornered people and they listened to his music.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Right? Cornered Johnny.
Yes, I know. Can you imagine having the guts to do that? Johnny Cash here, will you listen to my tape? It's
Wow.
pretty amazing.
He was also a helicopter pilot, and the story goes, I haven't checked this out with Chris to make sure if it's correct, but the legend is that he flew in a helicopter into Johnny's house and landed there and handed him his tape. Said, listen to this, please.
Yeah, that's ballsy.
Yeah.
It doesn't get bigger than that.
Jeff Bridges is with us this morning. We'll be right back here on Q1043. Amazing movie actor, movie star, multiple Academy Award nominee, Jeff Bridges. You've been nominated, how many times? 4 or 5?
4 times.
Four
About to be
times.
5.
Okay, they're saying it'll be about 5.
It will.
You've already won awards for this performance. And the movie isn't, the movie just came out here at the Angelica and the Lincoln Center yesterday. It's not even out into, big general release yet. And already, you have to make room on the mantle for some more awards.
Nomination. I don't know about awards, but
you have at least 4. You are actually now the front runner, I would say, for best acting for the Oscars.
Not that there's any kind of, race or anything.
And not that we're trying to put that jinx on it, and I know you don't even like to go there, but you are. And you're actually called the most underrated actor in America.
Well, you were nominated for your first major role.
That's right.
Your very first one.
Last Picture Show. What a great movie that was.
Yeah.
Oh, you made so many great movies. I mean, it's just incredible to think of what you were able to do just with your face, without any words. Sometimes when it was just your face that we were looking at in Starman. I mean, it's the face. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Absolutely.
I mean, besides just sometimes the way you would move your face. I mean, that's acting that I don't know. You can't go to classes and learn how to do that, can you?
Yeah, the face class. You go to the face class, they teach you this.
Yesterday, his film Crazy Heart, which critics are raving about, opened at the Angelica and the Lincoln Center. Of course, it's going to open everywhere eventually. And Shelley was lucky enough to see it because she gets to go to the movie critics screenings.
Oh, and I had to vote for 2 critics groups. And so, you keeping your notes, and I'm going to vote for this one, that one. And in the middle of Crazy Heart, I just said, okay, the vote is changing. The vote is changing right here. And one of the scenes that'll stand out, I think, in everyone's memory after they see this is that vomit scene.
You like those? You like that? You
wait
like
wait a second. That's not the first time the guy's head's been in a toilet.
No, there you go. A familiar place.
There you go.
I mean, there's been a little intimacy with the toilet before.
Well, it's a nice place to put your head. What the heck?
Speaking of which, there's the Big Lebowski has taken on cult status, as you know. There are people who know every single word of dialogue in an entire film. They just love it. I mean, we're talking about Lebowski fests around the globe. Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel?
I love it. When the movie first came out, it really didn't do much here. And then it hit Europe and then kind of splashed back over on these shores and has become this kind of cult deal. And they have these Lebowski fests, which are wonderful. I went to one not too long ago and had my Beatle moment. I performed up there with my, got some guys together. We played, and I performed to a sea of dudes. You can imagine, and bowling pins. Everybody dresses up differently.
Right.
And,
if women want to go someplace where they can meet a lot of guys, a Lebowski fest.
Yeah, or bowling pins or whatever. Yeah.
And then, of course, back in this movie, you're in another bowling alley.
That's right.
It's like there's so many parallels here.
Yeah.
Is there going to be another Big Lebowski? Are we going to ever see a sequel?
You never know. Those brothers, they surprise you.
What about a Tron sequel?
Tron sequel is happening. We've done that's in the can, as they say.
You take a look at Tron sometime, which seemed so shockingly modern at the time, and to witness the changes in technology, which become apparent the second that you look at anything from Tron. It's very exciting. It's, and I did hear you were doing a sequel.
Yeah,
all these years later.
That's right. It'll be out probably in about a year. It takes a long time to do all those.
And you had a big role in Iron Man. You just won great thing after another. 4
so
Academy Award nominations. We are so thrilled and excited that you took the time to visit with us today.
Great to be here, you guys.
Here at Q1043. Shelley, since the movie's already opened, you're allowed to give a sneak preview of your review, which I know you're not going to technically do till tomorrow morning at 6:10, but what do you give it?
Off the charts stars, and particularly for you, Jeff Bridges. And I do predict you will win the Oscar.
Wow.
Off the charts stars.
Yeah.
She's never said that.
Yeah, you've got to see it.
About
this
anything.
Performance is, it's just, it's out of this world.
Well, thank you so much for dropping by this morning here at Q1043.
Nice hanging with you guys.
It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.